Yeah, I love that question. So when I think about that, I think about the fact that there is no finish line and that the actual gift in all of this doesn't matter if it's we're just talking life in general, doesn't matter if we're talking fitness, relationships, career. It's that the gift is in the process itself, and that there's so much self-development and growth and, just new discoveries that we're going to have throughout the journey. And if we get hyper focused on the finish line, and I think when I say that, a lot of times people confuse that with me saying you shouldn't set goals, which is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the goals can be benchmarks, but the ultimate gift is in the process itself, which when you focus that way, you realize that things like setbacks and failure and hardships and mental struggle is all part of building more resilience, and is all part of building that personal growth that we're all after. If we're in this to be the best version of ourselves, then we have to just embrace the process to getting to where we want to go. So when I think about pursuing your potential, it's really like, let's remove the finish line and let's embrace that.
Um, Pursuing your potential. I think just maybe expecting more from yourself, because I think we can always push a little bit harder, or in whatever we're trying to achieve, whether that's business or personal or body composition or whatever it is. Just looking for those little micro opportunities to be a little bit better is huge.
Pursuing your potential. I think that we all have something inside of us, whether we know it's there or not. And maybe we need somebody in our life to help bring that out of us, but we all have something in us that we can be great at. And it's my dream that the world is full of people that have been able to pursue their potential and actually find what their potential is. I know that I had said earlier in the podcast that I really didn't view myself as being a success, but that may just be because my perspective of what my potential is so high now, because I actually have a voice now and I can speak, that I know where I can go and I'm on my way there. But ultimately, I also needed some specific people in my life to help me see that for myself, because I didn't see it for myself. I didn't know the potential was there. But people like, my wife, Tanya Grazione, people like Elaine Norton, people like an Amanda Bucci, people like this that I had in my life that actually helped me become a better human and helped me step up and get past myself. Those are the people that I hope and pray each and every one of you who are listening to this podcast have in your life, because those people are the ones that will really help you pursue your potential in life. And if you don't have people like that in your life and you have people that are actually weighing you down, get those weights off of you, cut the chains, let it go, and do what you're actually passionate about.
Um, I think for me, it boils back down to, and I just talked about it. For me, that all sums into what grit is to me, and having grit is an undying determination to succeed, to become the best you. And when you look at like fully pursuing your potential, for me, that's having the perfect combination of grit and grace. I talk about that a lot. Being gritty as shit, but also having some grace. I talk about this 80-20 rule with nutrition, but I talk to my clients about 80% of the time, be gritty as shit. Just be gritty as hell. 20% of the time, give yourself some grace and give yourself a deep breath and realize like you're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. So for me, pursuing that ultimate potential, that's how I get there, is I deploy a lot of grit and undying determination to become a better version of me. And eventually, like, I will reach that potential. And guess what? Then you reach that and you want more. Like, it's just this feeling.
I think pursuing your potential is really can be wrapped up in the idea that you can just do everything that you do with some level of care and some level of mindfulness. You don't always have to be perfect, and you don't always have to achieve some great achievement, whether it's fat loss or making money or getting that girl or getting that job or buying that car. It could be a little thing. You know what I mean? I think human beings sell themselves short more often than not. And something as simple as, hey, I was able to drink 100 ounces of water today and I haven't been able to do that in 6 years. You did something well that day. And not that you should pat yourself on the back, but build on it. Take those little victories that you have every single day and start to combine them together to create this really big change. Because the problem is we're all waiting for that amazingly big thing to happen, but if you can't just wait for it, there's little tiny steps every single day that you can take to achieve something greater than you've ever thought you could. And that sounds so foofy and so rah-rah, and I'm not that kind of person, but that's all it is. That's at the base level. That's your potential. Your potential is to be amazing. Human beings are amazing creatures. We create buildings and we write songs and we have the capability to think outside the box, and we were so inventive and amazing. And a lot of times we have so many distractions that have been thrown at us throughout the years.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's, if we were to look at statistics and research on people who live the longest, healthiest, happiest lives, we would find that the people who are constantly in pursuit of something greater than themselves would probably be healthier and the happiest, right? I mean, it doesn't take a ridiculous amount of research to find that, generally speaking, people who have a relationship with God are generally happier and healthier. And I'm not going to push religion on anybody. It's not what this is about. But I mean, God can mean anything to you. It doesn't have to be like an old man in the sky, like pointing down to you. It could be anything, but a spiritual relationship with something that you are pursuing to be a better person. We see that consistently across research, that people live healthier, happier, longer lives as a result of that. And I think we can break this down into many aspects of our life, whether it's through fitness, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your career. I mean, there are many aspects within our lives that if you're always aiming to get a little bit better, to achieve another goal, to improve a little bit. And that's where we get more motivation. That's where we get more drive. That's where we see get more self-confidence, is getting those little wins over time. And so I love the name of your podcast, because if you're always in pursuit of it, then there's never a reason to quit.
Yeah.
So what pursue your potential means to me is to truly commit to being on a never-ending journey of evolving. That's what that means to me. So never-ending journey of evolving. I don't think the potential has a cap on it. I think that you can identify certain things that you want to do for a particular week, a particular month, a particular season, and then you retool and you do the next thing. So it's a never-ending exploration of just evolving and growing. And how that shows up for me, and the way that I do that is really, this year is probably my biggest pursue my potential year. My specific expectation for myself, so some people may call it resolution, whatever, my expectation for myself was be as uncomfortable as possible, as often as possible. So
I think pursuing your potential is, it's a stepping stone, where your potential has a limitation right now at a certain point. When you reach that point, is now what can you do to get to that next step? So I think reaching your max potential isn't just stopping when you reach your first goal. It's keep going until you find a level that is now the most that you have to contribute to that goal. So my goal, my peak potential for business will have a ceiling. Am I there yet? No. But at some point, I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? This is as much as I have to give. This is as hard as I'm willing to work, and I'm comfortable with it, and now I'm gonna maintain it. But until I reach that point, I'm gonna keep striving for more, and very few people reach their peak potential. And until I do or get close to it, I just keep pushing.
I think that one thing that I did recently was I sat down and I wrote a mission statement for myself. So the mission statement was what I want to represent in this life, and what kind of mark do I want to leave on everyone that knew me. And then it wasn't, so then I guess like pursue your potential came from, okay, well then what actions do I need to be doing every day to make sure that I represent my my mission statement. So I think like that's what it means to me, is making sure that you create habits and routines that represent the kind of trademark that you want to leave on the world.
Man, this is I love this question, because I feel like I get really freaked out by how short life is. If I have one fear, it's like literally like life is just like passing me by. And I get really, really scared to think that like all the things I love in life could like be gone in an instant, right? So I'm always wanting to be better for me and like be a better wife to my husband. And so for me, like pursuing my potential is like reaching out and like finding out from like people I love how to be better, but then also like doing that work, like what do I know parts of me that I'm like getting in my own way. And once I realized that I could take my passion and turn it into a career, like I literally felt not fearless, but like more confident to be able to like reach inside and be like, how can I become better? Right? Because I removed the biggest self-limiting belief in my life. And it's helped me like be a better wife and be a better friend. But it also, it's hard. Like it really is hard work. So you guys go out and just like try to be the best that you can in this like short life. And it's not always going to be a good day. Trust me. Like I have bad days too. And we can do a whole podcast on bad days, but it's really like, yeah, just knowing that nothing's guaranteed